Hello and welcome to Channel Sports on Sunday. Now we are having dates. We are getting them. The league, according to the minister, it says 27th of December. That is 2 days after Christmas, a day after Boxing Day. And like he said there, we know in England, there is that traditional match that are played on the 26th of December. The shift, most times if Saturday is close to maybe Saturday is 24th or so, they shift the matches and play it on the 26th. We've been clamoring for that for a very long time when our leagues go on break for during the Leia Festival, during the Christmas holidays. And we said, no, capitalize on it. If musical concerts can take place, if other things can, if other entertainment businesses can go on. Why shift? Why, allow them the competition? Why give the competition opportunity to overtake you? It is a period of holidays where, you can take your family to go and watch football matches. And if football, like we say, of course, we say it is our, Nigerian football is our #1 sport in Nigeria. Why do we have to now say we want to go to parties, want to go to other places at a point when it is time for us to gather and get that thing done and take advantage of that particular holiday? So for us, that is for me in particular, I think I'm all for it. I'm all for playing football matches on those days. But then a lot of logistics have to be put in place. And that is not for me to say. I have a team in the house. We shall look at, the implication of starting the league on the 27th. We shall look at, the club licensing requirements, how many of them have met it. We shall also look at, the logistics of moving from one place to the other in terms of security, in terms of a lot of vehicular movement at this time of the year and stuff. So basically, I don't envy those who are running the league. I don't envy those who are taking decisions, because whatever decision you take, definitely there is one negative aspect of it and somebody will ban on. But then we just have to get that balance and get it moving. We also have from the Deputy Governor of Edo State, he said February is is a fitting date. It's about the 5th or the 6th time the National Sport Fest had been postponed, not for no fault of the organizers. Let's say this external forces coming in. Where is it? Somebody talking about force majeure, but this is not law and stuff. But then we are saying, look, from what has happened, if you can postpone the greatest sports fiesta on earth, which is the Olympics, our own mini Olympics, National Sport Festival, we just have to go the same way, because we must, first and foremost, we must be alive. If you're not alive, you cannot partake in any sport. And fittingly, they are starting on the 14th of February. You guys know what 14th of February means now, Valentine's Day. So probably this is going to be, designed as a Valentine National Sport Festival. Go to Benin and love yourselves. I would not say love thy neighbor. What I mean, love yourself. You don't go, just go and love yourself in the spirit of sports. And that is what we are talking about here. So we'll look at that during the week of course, we've had the best. There is no controversy in this. We've been saying it here. There is no other one that Robert Lewandowski, the Polish international, playing his through it with Bayern Munich. And then you don't win all those trophies. You don't score all those goals. You don't contribute to so much success. And then somebody says you are number 2 or number 3. This one, somebody were ready to carry a placard from there to Switzerland and said, no, give it to him. So Lewandowski took that, and we shall also look at some other winners and see how fitting those winnings are. Of course, it is by vote. And I tell you this, if it is by vote, whoever they pick is a winner. It's not as if FIFA picked somebody. It is everybody vote your first, your second, and your third choices. And then the aggregate, how many number ones you took, how many number 2, and then you come out, and then we have, find out the person with the most stylists come out as the winner. And that is how the thing, goes down. So we have the winner in Roberto Lewandowski, and I think he is a deserving winner. To me, I don't know about you. When we open the lines, we shall also hear your own opinion, because some of you tell it is Ronaldo or it is Messi, and I'm waiting. I'm actually waiting for you guys. So we'll move from there, and then we look at boxing a little bit, because it is coming at that point in time where Tyson Fury taking on AJ, and we're talking about mega boss, about the richest fight in boxing history. Of course, the Money Man has been breaking those things before, but he's retired now. There is no more weather. And coming from going down there at the lower ranks, GGG and Canelo. I remember we had Muhammad Ali Joe Frazier 1, Muhammad Ali Joe Frazier 2, and Muhammad Ali Joe Frazier 3. So probably we're going to have Canelo GGG 1. We've already had one. Canelo GG 2, which was controversially awarded to Canelo. And then Canelo GGG 3, I tell you, this that will be the explosive of all explosions. And because these are pound for pound the best boxers in the world currently. And you can't argue that. We shall also look at family, father and son relationship in sport. I don't know what is happening. In Nigeria, there are a lot of the famous parents, but we are to see their kids representing us, but all over the world it is happening. But then they say when it rains it pours. When it rains it pours. What is the problem? What is the issue with Barcelona? What is happening to Borussia Dortmund? But then you ask yourself, is Arsenal, are they rescuable? I have Obum in the house to start with. Obum Sigwe, Obum, how are you? Sometimes when I ask questions, it's not as if I am laughing at anybody. You understand? It's just naturally because I'm just anticipating what you were going to, your mood. You understand? Can Arsenal fall further than they are? Because you lose to Burnley. Nothing wrong in that.
You said Arsenal lost to Burnley, not you.
Okay. No, I mean you are not you as I mean you. I'm using you as Arsenal.
You cannot use me as an Arsenal.
No, I'm not you. Not you as it boom. I'm saying like you as in general.
Okay.
Like somebody like you lose to Arsenal.
I'm only pulling your leg.
Like you lose to Burnley, and then there's supposed to be a kind of a reaction. And the thing with Arsenal, even in those years, is the surprise element in Arsenal. People say when you expect them to win, they don't. And the time you write them off, they just come and they beat Real Madrid, they beat Juve, they score 5, and you are wondering what is this. But what is happening to this Arsenal? Okay,
good afternoon, Ken. Good afternoon, viewers. It's good to be back here and to talk sports. I said it, even under Arsene Wenger, Arsenal was labeled the flat-track bullies who will beat the little teams around them and stutter against the big teams. But now, Arsenal can't just beat anybody. And I predicted exactly a year ago that Mikel Arteta, being Arsenal manager, will end up in tears.
Yeah, I saw that tweet. I saw that tweet, so I will give that to you.
I didn't quite think Arteta was the right man for the job in the first place. I criticized his appointment. In as much as he came in and won the FA Cup and Charity Shield, then, when he began to exert his presence in the team, he made blunders. I told you something a few weeks back that dropping Mesut Ozil from that team and not signing a replacement for him was the biggest mistake that might cost him his job as Arsenal manager. I mentioned that a few weeks back.
Was that his decision? It's like that is not his decision.
Ken, I'm not in Arsenal board. As far as I'm concerned, the manager lives and dies by decisions of players playing and not playing. That is football for you. And one thing that they have... I expect Mikel Arteta to be sacked, to be honest with you, because he has done more worse than Unai Emery. He has broken records that Arsenal, he's not broken, he's been tumbling all the negative records you can think of in Arsenal since this season. 14 games, 14 points. You know, it's good that Arsenal fans out there experiences this because when they hounded Wenger out, now Arsenal is not playing good football. They're not winning matches. They're still leaking goals.
But don't you also think that as at the time they asked Wenger to go, that almost as if he has that the law of diminishing returns have set in, and then he was no longer ambitious.
No doubt about that, but yes. I had issues with the personal insults being thrown at Wenger.
Okay, that's nobody's to accept.
But at least Wenger has done better with worse teams than what we have here. This present combination of Arsenal is a very, very good team assembled with millions of pounds. Pepe is 72. Aubameyang has been placed on a huge contract. Name them Pate or Prate, whatever he's called. He's not. He has.
I think his injury. I think he came in and he did well when he came in.
One match. Other matches he has actually not been there. The truth of the matter is that this Arsenal team lacks a creative hope and they lack tactical discipline. It was only yesterday match. I think the last 4 matches they've considered red card in each of the match. But this last one they played against Everton. Everton were very poor yesterday. I expected Arsenal to turn up. Arsenal was still the same old Arsenal. I don't know why Arteta is still starting Williams for crying out loud. All their passes, at some point they started having issues with Elneny, and because they were passing the ball, there are too many sideways and back passes. Okay. They were not ambitious. Going forward, Arsenal is offering nothing. They had no shot on target in the second half against Everton. They hardly threatened the Everton defense, and it's abysmal for a club like with the attacking threat of Arsenal. This is unacceptable.
But is it out of place for them to be cautious? I mean, if you're losing matches, and probably at least, can we just make sure that we don't lose this? That, let us contain them, and maybe from here gain our confidence.
Ken, when every match you lose confidence. A certain level of confidence ebbs away from the team. But an ambitious team will try to win the next game. You don't win the next game by being defensive. And look at it. We've lost against Burnley. We lost against Wolves. And Everton team yesterday did not turn. Arsenal could not give them in. Arsenal is not challenging. That is the worst part. They're not challenging, and they're not making efforts. You don't see the desire. You don't see the passion.
Do you see Mesut Ozil coming back in January? From all indications, do you see him include? Because I mean, that is a kind of that decision is irreversible. Where you just exclude somebody from there.
He has pushed his boat too far. He's thrown digs at them, made mockery of certain decisions in the team. I think Arsenal will go and sign a creative midfielder, and either Mesut Ozil is sold or he's allowed to run down his contract. For pride's sake, I'm not sure the Arsenal management or hierarchy will want to bring back Mesut Ozil in the team.
Well, I think pride goes before a fall.
Exactly.
Because I remember David Beckham, when he announced he was going to MLS,
yes.
And then the coach at Real Madrid started benching him. The guy goes to train just like what Mesut Ozil is doing,
yes.
Train professionally, and when the result was going badly,
he had to bring him in.
He had to bring him back, and he rescued the season for Real Madrid.
Look at Zidane and Gareth Bale.
Yeah.
When the chips were down, you swallow your pride and bring in your... you know what this player... As Wenger said something in a recent interview, he said, Mesut Ozil might go missing in a match, but a moment of brilliance from him can win you the game. That is a manager for crying out loud. I think Arsenal deserves better than Mikel Arteta. Truth be told.
Okay, but he won 2 trophies, and you can't take that away from him.
In England, Charity Shield is not a trophy. He's won the FA Cup.
In England, the same Wenger went 9 years without winning, and even the Charity Shield. He went 9 years trophies.
He's not the first manager. Liverpool went how many years?
They were winning trophy. They were not winning the league.
Okay, now
they were not winning the
last manager to win trophy for Manchester United is Jose Mourinho. Only on the wheel, what has he done? How many years at the head?
Just 2 years.
It doesn't matter. That's how it starts. 2 minus 9, 7 to go.
That's how it starts. Okay, I also think, before I talked about Arsenal, I mentioned Borussia Dortmund. I also mentioned Barcelona. Barcelona, what is the... Okay, Dortmund first. What is the issue with Dortmund? I don't understand Dortmund.
Ken, I've looked at Dortmund this season.
What is the issue with Dortmund?
If Bayern Munich can still have the drive to still go after championship,
yes.
I wonder what Dortmund is thinking. I wonder what changed in their psyche, because it's more of a psyche thing. They have a very good team. Eric Haaland suddenly can't get the ball into the net anymore.
I don't understand.
I think
Haaland, Sancho, a lot of...
Like, Ken, I'm sorry I'm digressing a bit. I wonder what the manager is doing in the team, because I heard something that Willian traveled to Dubai without approval, and he came back. Nothing was done to William, and he was put in the team. Some Arsenal players felt offended by that.
Yeah.
The way you manage a team, a group of people, not even football team, you must show to be firm and honest when you lead a group of people. When that fairness and honesty is not there, it affects the psyche of the team. Maybe there's something that is happening in Dortmund that we do not know.
Okay, exactly. But I mean, because you can't just start losing form. I think they were battered in the fight by
Barcelona. I am hardly surprised. Ronaldo Koeman, I wonder what was the rationale behind his appointment in the first place.
He played for Barcelona.
It doesn't matter. As a coach, he has been a disaster.
I think it was brought as a temporary measure by the last the last board.
2 things for me for Barcelona.
Yeah.
The coach not being up to the task. I don't know what Messi's mind situation is after he wanted to.
But what are the support cast? It is very key. No, if you can get quality, if you get quality passes,
bad energy to dissipate in a team very easily. So we don't know what is happening. Maybe they come out and perception. You don't know what is happening in the back room. So I feel the Messi factor and the coach factor. Barcelona has a very good team with a good coach. I was looking at, there was a highlight from Xavi Hernandez, where he's coaching, the club is coaching. They passed the ball from the goalkeeper to the back and scored without the opposition touching the ball. I said, this is a tiki-taka. This is a ready-made Barcelona manager. When I saw that, I said, this guy has been made ready for Barca.
But To be sincere, they approached him and he said he wasn't ready, or maybe he was not ready to work with the last ball.
Yes, maybe. You know, the same thing happened to Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola left Barcelona because of a certain ball. He was tired of working with that ball. That's why he left.
All right. Okay, so let's go back from the very beginning. It has always been the highlight and will remain the highlight of the for football, picking the very best of the players. And then, like this year, let us see if we can get a list of the winners, you know, and how it transpired. To me, like I said, I'm confident, I'm happy, I agree with the decision, with the choice of Lewandowski, because like I said, it is voting. It is more of subjective and not objective. It is who you like. Somebody will vote Messi as first, another one will vote Lewandowski as first. It depends, and then maybe a Barcelona side will not vote anybody from Real Madrid. Real Madrid, so let us be looking at FIFA. These are your winners. Take them.
FIFA Fan Award. Marivaldo da Silva.
Yeah.
FIFA Fair Play Award, Mattia Agnes.
Yeah.
Best Women's Coach, Sarina Wegman. Best Men's Coach, Jurgen Klopp. I have issues with that. Serious issues
we'll
with
talk
that.
that.
Best Men's Goalkeeper, Manuel Neuer. What I disagree. Best Women's Goalkeeper, Sarah Buhadi.
Yeah.
Puskas Award, Song Heung-min from Tottenham FC. Best Women's Player, Lucy Bronze. Best Men's Player, Robert
Lewandowski. Yeah. You said you have issue with Jurgen Klopp winning it.
Yes.
And then which other one again?
Best Men's Goalkeeper, Manuel Neuer.
Manuel Neuer. I mean, who?
He won the Champions League. Ken,
he won the treble. He won everything.
I know. Ken,
domestic treble.
Let's put it in context here.
Yes.
Jurgen Klopp, because of winning the Premier League, and so what? A certain coach was brought as a caretaker coach. He won the local league. He won the Champions League. Won their local cup competition. I wondered the rationale of making giving it to Jurgen Klopp.
I think that to me that is a travesty.
That's a travesty of justice. And if I were to be Real Madrid manager, I will feel hard done. Bayern Munich, I will feel hard done by that. Then for goalkeeper, I thought if you are giving Liverpool goalkeeper the best goalkeeper for last season, I will agree to that, because you look at the contribution of the goalkeeper to the team, saves made. I don't think Manuel Neuer deserves that for me.
You see, because if you also look at
that season,
if you look at Liverpool,
that's last season. You could even hardly get to a Bayern Munich defense, talk less of him making a save. Let's be honest.
You got. Manuel Neuer is top notch. He's top notch.
No, he used to be. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. The injury has regressed him a bit. He's no longer the Neuer we used to know.
I remember what Atletico did to Liverpool.
Well, it happens once in a while in football.
And even Alisson also was injured
at some point.
At some point, so he wasn't active throughout the season.
Courtois in the Champions League did. Even in the league, Courtois improved a lot last season. You know, he used to be after he left Chelsea to Madrid. He almost became a disaster. I was wondering.
There was the match. I think the match after he was the FIFA made him the best goalkeeper when he won the best goalkeeper. I think at the World Cup that the first match. I think he ate.
I can't remember, but he was conceding goals for fun. I was wondering
from his net.
Chelsea fans are making mockery of it that they sold it without the manual.
Yeah, but now they have found the manual. He has been the manual has been rejigged.
Yes.
You just go out to download it, and then that's why you can fit it into the system.
Well, we can't. We can only wish them well. Congratulations to them, but I thought Jurgen Klopp's own was a travesty.
You thought so? I believe so too, because I mean a coach will not win the domestic treble. You just won the league, and then here is a coach who won the league, won the
Champions League, the big one.
Won the Champions League. The Champions League without he won all his matches, not even a drawn match.
For a caretaker coach, he deserves it.
Well, let's go on a break. When we come back, the lines will be open. I shall give us your highlights of Sport 2020. Stay with us. Okay, you're welcome back. It's a Channel Sport on Sunday. And Jimmy joins the house. Hello, Jimmy Kato.
Ever a pleasure to be here. Listening to you talk about Canelo and GGG leaves me with no option than to tell you that you'll be seeing a cracker. And I think, once again, Canelo will have a controversial bout with GGG, but GGG should take it.
I think GGG is hot. The way he dismantled Zemereka. The way he knocked him down four times. Round 1, round 2, round 4, round 7. You understand?
And I think when you consider the fact that he's 38 years old, you consider also the way Canelo took out Callum Smith, someone that's got is taller. A lot more taller than Canelo, but
Canelo is 5'9",
5'9", and he's 6'3", and even the reach is 70.5 to 78. When you have that difference of 7.5 and he's still able to make it count, you ask yourself what exactly is happening in that category, weight category. In fact, in that fight, the Canelo fight, September 2016, Canelo fought Liam Smith. Liam Smith is of the same parents with Callum Smith. Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And knocked him out in 2016. His brother came for revenge in 2020. And
but I think I find it shocking, when you have boxers like that, they've got the reach, they've got the height, they've got almost everything counting for them. They seem to have the reputation, and they get into the bouts with Canelo, and they almost are not able to do anything. Let's look at it. The same thing happened when he was fighting against Rocky Fielding. Rocky Fielding had the reach, had the height, had everything going for him. But unfortunately, they almost always, when they get into the ring with Canelo, it's almost like they lose it. They do not have any option. Yes, it says a lot about how devastating Canelo can be in the ring. But when you consider the fact that you are supposed to come in with the requisite verve, when you consider the fact that you have got to make whatever seems to be your physical advantage count, and you are not able to make it count, then Canelo, of course, has got to do the
Jimmy, you have never entered the ring before.
I was going to tell Jimmy that. To be here and speak grammar. We say in this country, in this part of, that's the way pass you. No,
not even that. There is another parallel they say in Lagos. You understand? They say, that's the way they take man, they drive motor. You need to get an accident. You don't understand? Vroom, vroom, vroom. Because I tell you this. The same Canelo that you are saying all this entered into the ring with Mayweather, and I tell you this, he couldn't touch him. You can't hit
the level of pressure that level.
You cannot hit what you cannot see. Yes. I float like a butterfly and sting like a bee, and that is the thing. When the master of the art of the self-defense in the ring, when Mayweather entered there, Canelo could not touch. So if others are in awe of Canelo, why can't they go and watch the tape? They can download the tape now.
And we have followed the career of Canelo for quite a bit now, and also GGG. And you just ask yourself, what exactly is happening to other boxers in that category? Maybe we're talking about Charlo, we'll talk about BJS, John Saunders and all that. But at the end of the day, we want to see a GGG Canelo trilogy. It's very important. We have talked about Fury, Wilder. We keep talking about Fury, Joshua.
I think that fight, because Usyk is saying, I'm prepared to step aside.
Yeah, and I think it's
because if I step aside, all 4 belts will be somewhere. Yes. One man will be holding it. So you guys can go and knock yourself, unify it, and I will just go and collect. So
that easy.
The guy said, look, I'm prepared to step aside.
I watched, the first 2 bouts of Usyk in the heavyweight category, and I think he's not ready, honestly.
You think he's not ready?
Yeah, because
he's just rated.
Look, why he's rated is because he went undisputed in the cruiserweight category. Now he comes into the heavyweight category. He's been highly rated. But you consider the fact that there are so many of these other boxers that seem to have, a better skill set than what Usyk has.
You enter into the ring.
No, it's not about you.
It's relative.
It's not about yourself or myself, Ken. Because when we were as young as I am, we never fought. If you get into the ring now, your friend Bashali, if your friend Bashali gets into the ring now, he's going to fight his fight. Not the kind of...
Bash remains my friend.
Yes.
And I'm not going to say it's my friend.
Yes.
And he's one Nigerian who has...
Definitely.
fought well. Who put Nigerian name in the boxing map.
I still want to do it.
Yes, who put Nigeria in the boxing map to win the North American Championship. That is, it's like a jungle. So we do not. It's even more. It's more difficult to survive in the North American
Definitely.
than when you are in the world. You are rated maybe all the rated, but in that place for him to go to America and do that. So I give him kudos for all that. Of course, trying to get a record, and then that is what it's all about.
You know the song now?
Yeah.
Basha
You are there. Okay, don't worry about that. So basically, I wish I look at. We are looking at that, and I do believe that fight will be an epic between GGG and Canelo. Like we said, when Frazier was the king, when Muhammad Ali came out, you know, from when he won and came out from exile. Then, yeah, that is the word. When they came out of exile, it was Frazier, and Frazier had that shock when the first defeat Muhammad Ali suffered, and then they went part 2. And then Muhammad Ali took that. And then when it was the time for the thriller in Manila, okay, I tell you this because Muhammad Ali says it is going to be a thriller when I catch the gorilla in Manila. And I tell you this, it became what it was, the thriller in Manila. They went to hell and came back. And when that fight was, you know, at the end of the fight, we know, yes, the fight has taken away the man in them. They were never the same again. Never. We're looking at what is going to happen when GGG takes on Canelo. And then Canelo fight fearlessly. GGG does not fear nobody. They are not going to. The referee has no job to do. Just go over there and see who is going to knock it has been excitement part 1, excitement part 2, and I tell you part 3. Wow. Let's look forward to that.
I'm even wondering which of the bouts will be more epic. Would it be the GGG versus Canelo bout, or maybe Anthony Joshua and Fury bout?
Heavyweights are not as exciting as the young.
But I think so much has been said about AJ and Fury. So people are looking forward to that match. People want to see what will happen in that game.
It will grow.
I think the major reason why this bout may be more epic than the GGG versus Canelo bout is because you're having the best of the most senior promoters. When you talk of Frank Warren, Bob Arum, Eddie, they've got to sell it. And in selling it, you just consider the fact that maybe it's not going to the UK. Maybe you will go, you know, to the Middle East. No, if they are all sitting in Dubai, I mean, it's got to be a lot more money than, you know, fighting in Wembley.
Yeah, the thing is where the money is. Whether I would like it or not, we might look at where people are fighting. But remember that Muhammad Ali fought in Zaire under Mobutu Sese Seko.
Yeah,
remember that Muhammad Ali fought in Manila. 70s, you understand? Yeah. And those were where we have not democratic governments in charge, where individuals, you know, the government sponsor.
Now the pandemic has changed all of that.
Government sponsor. The government money that sponsored the trial in Manila, that sponsored the rumble in the jungle in 74. So basically, those are the things.
Now, a lot has changed, especially with the pandemic. A lot has changed because the amount of money that they can make fighting in the UK is never going to be the same if they do fight.
Oil money.
After
all, you remember when CAF was moving from Angola to Gabon.
And nobody is talking about
oil money with the Libya. Oil money. Only the oil rich state were hosting.
And Ken, before me, nobody is talking about human rights violation anymore because that's where the money is.
I know human rights violation. Those are politics. Those are politics. We try as much as possible to keep politics out of sports. And that is the thing.
But Ken, sports is a big industry that can lend a voice to curtail the effect of those injustices.
That is why that is why I've seen a lot of activism.
You saw what Naomi Osaka did.
That was exactly what I was
saying. LeBron James.
Naomi wouldn't have done that some years back. But because of what is, you know, the trend, what people are, the awareness and whatever it is, those things wouldn't matter. I tell you, so if look at Lewis Hamilton, they looked at what he did, and then they say, okay, fine, we agree with you. You have the right to voice because you are using that pedestal, you're using that
your platform
to voice your reason. But some people raised their hand in 1936, in 1936, and they say, oh, we know what happened to them. So basically, those are the things. Okay, let's go back. Let's come back home. Before you came here, we looked at the minister said the league is starting on the 27th of December. And then part of what the LMC is saying, agreeing with that, is that this time around, of course, they're announcing that trying to see how you can watch those matches at home. I don't know how now. We're talking about apps and other things. But they came up with something that the winner of the league will go home with 75 million.
Yeah. 75 million.
50 million for the runner-up.
50 million for the first runner-up and 35 million for the third place. Okay, can I ask a question? Yeah. Why is it that every season we'll talk about fixing the date the league will start? I know we have had an abridged version of the league.
This season, the LMC has proposed prize monies for the top 3 finishing positions for the 2020-2021 season as 75 million for the winner, 50 million for the first runner-up, and 35 million for the third-place team. Other clubs will also earn prize monies based on final position on the league table. This is what we have in the EPL.
Yeah.
Graduated.
Yeah, and then they're also bringing some incentives which we've already had. If you away wins, okay.
NPFL 20 will kick off on December 27th after consultation with the NFF, the participating clubs, and the league's commercial rights holders and strategic commercial partners at Red Strike Sports.
Okay.
Steps have been taken to ensure full compliance with the mandatory COVID-19 protocol with the government, briefed through the sports ministry.
All right. So
Ken, I have a lot to say as regards this, and I think that the first and the most important thing we should be talking about is club licensing regulations. Before now, we heard the minister talk about club licensing regulations, where clubs are expected to have, met with those, the expectations of them as regards maybe medical facilities. We saw what happened with Chineme. Infrastructure. They talked about maybe some stadiums not meeting up and some stadiums, your Saturday stadia not being allowed to, host games and all that. Now, players' welfare, players' salaries, we need to talk about all that. And there's supposed to be a proper statement from the LMC stating that we are ready. Because now what we seem to have is the sports ministry saying, we want this to happen. And the LMC say, okay, we'll abide.
No, but to be fair, I think the LMC had said, we have not started because we have not got clearance from the government. And I think that was why the government said, okay, fine, we are saying start on the 27th. Which means now that guarantee that the LMC is asking for, the government has not given them. You are not going to have the violations. If you can comply, you understand, with this. Okay, but
so that's it.
I want to come to you, but I want to see if possible that we can open the lines so that you guys can join. It is the festive season. It is the Christmas season. The Yuletide. We've been talking about a lot of things. The footballers of the year, the league starting, the National Sport Festival starting on Valentine's Day. I think this is from now on we can nickname it the Val National Sport Festival. It has to be a festival of love. Love your neighbor as yourself. That is what this is all is going to be. And we pray because after about 5 to 6 postponement, and finally we agree on a date, we pray before February, the second spike would have come down finally, and there won't be anything. We will have pushed this thing to the minimal, and it will just be like the day of you taking Panadol to solve this particular problem, because it is all there. The postponement has not been to that. It's not because they want to postpone, it's because these are forces beyond their control. But if we can manage it, and by February the world becomes safer, I think it has to be a festival of love. All right, let's go to Ogun State. Owolafe, you are waiting. Hello, how are you? Oh, are you there?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ken.
Yeah. Go on.
About this Nigerian Professional League.
Yeah.
There is time I'm hearing that we start on January 27. Now this is December 27.
Yeah.
What I'm trying, who is the sponsorings of the Nigerian Professional League? They must have a sponsoring, because this money is okay for me. This money is okay for me. If they can give a club, because almost 5 years now, I've never seen a club that I receive the money after the league. So I want to know the sponsoring. That's number one. The stadium.
Oh, why are you still there? Okay, we've lost that call. Is talking about, you talked about the stadium. I want to come to you on this. Sometimes there are things that we do in this country and we keep on doing it. And if you keep on doing the same thing and getting the same result that you don't desire, that's why you should change. This idea of inspecting stadium before league kicks off and whatever is a culture I don't understand. If today you are going to watch Manchester United play Leeds, the moment that match finishes, you go over. Even at the groundsman will come in and fit it in. Must you wait until you have form a committee who will now travel to one state to that, and then they will not carry the they are inspecting,
wasting funds,
and these are not technical people. You just appoint people to go and do that. I don't understand it.
The truth of the matter is this.
Yeah.
Our administrators, they travel around the world and they see the minimum standards of what is being done there. Even during snow period, you see groundsmen at halftime coming in to do some certain adjustments on the field of play. You don't need to tell a national team or a national groundsman that they need to get their stadium ready for next season. Why do you need an inspection if you're a serious club to know that you get your stadium ready for elite season?
I think at times...
Jimmy, I want to speak with you so that you can also go ahead with your line of thought based on what you had just said. The stadium is an asset. You build a stadium. A stadium is an asset. I know how much the Emirates Stadium is making. I know when Brazil will come to play their international matches there. Yeah. I know the musicals. I know a lot of things. I know the O2 Arena, the boxing board will take place.
There's a pitch award.
Our stadium White Elephant. Why do you, okay, let's go back to Ogun State.
Hello,
Jide. Hello, Jide.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, go on. Hello, Jide, you are on. Wow. Please do call back.
Ken.
Yes.
You seem to forget that we are not running football as a business.
What are you just?
Yeah, I mean, it's recreational, and that's the fact. Now, if football were to be run as a business, then you begin to look at your players as assets, your stadia as assets. You look at a lot of other things as assets. But unfortunately, because you don't have the stadia being properly managed. You know, in Nigeria, we have this problem of maintenance culture. Yeah. It's always been there. So let's not run away.
In Nigeria.
How do you mean?
Mr. Maintenance is not in Nigeria.
So because we don't have that maintenance,
money. That's what I'm saying.
Because we don't have that maintenance culture, because football is not run as a business, because we don't understand or value sports business in Nigeria, we will always continue to have that problem. Now, I like the fact that the national industry, sports industry policy, you know, there's this recategorization of sport as a business, but it's usually talk, and not, you know, action. It's more, let's talk about it, let's make people understand this is where we are headed, but the implementation as a business is where we always are lacking, because once sports becomes a business, the administrators will now begin to look at those assets and turn them around, because they will be thinking, this is where we are going to get the money to play players and not collect from government.
Okay. What Jimmy is saying is the absolute truth. The same thing that Jimmy has said is what will make the NFF think of how much they can collect from club and from the government and from sponsors, and not to think of how to make money on their own. The same thing with the clubs playing in the MPFL. How much they can collect from the NFF or the state government without any initiative of how they can generate their own funds, until we begin to change our mindset and the way our approach, the way we go about sports in Nigeria, things will never change.
But we spoke with Owumi here, and then, I mean, what the strides that Rangers are making with insurance, some sponsors.
Are you talking of only one club out of the lot?
Can we look at even what David Owumi said? He kept referring back to the state government, His Excellency. It's still the same thing.
Okay, let's go back to Ogun State.
Dayo.
Oh, today is Ogun State. Hello, Dayo. How are you?
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes. This is Dayo calling from Ogun State. Okay,
Dayo, go on.
Sir, concerning the issue of this NNC, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
But can you just kill the volume of your telly? You can hear the echo. Kill the volume of your television and speak through your phone.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I've done that already.
All right. Okay.
I think the issue is still lying in the hands of the governor.
How?
Hello?
Go on. Yeah, go on.
So the issue still lies in the hands of. I think our football teams or club rather, if it is being managed by a private organization, I think it will be better. Because I see no reason why. Look at this team. What is it called now? This Ogun State team.
Yeah, Gateway FC.
The stadium if you go to the stadium is not ready up to this moment, and what is it called now? The competition or the league is going to commence by next year. This January, and all the things are not in place. They are supposed to put this thing in place. I think the best option is to allow this private organization to run this thing, and we should have a good sponsor. Yes, if we have a good sponsor, I think it will be okay.
All right. All right. Thank you, Dayo. He mentioned He mentioned Ogun State, and then we keep on reminding us in this, in Nigeria, in Africa. There was one Olakpade, Bukola Olakpade, who was the commissioner for sports in Ogun State when the National Sport Festival held there, and they held the National Sport Festival without a kobo from government, private sponsorship, and they made profit. The same thing with Danny Jordan. When South Africa, hosted the All Africa Games, the government didn't put a kobo. They hosted that All Africa Games, and then they came up with a statement of accounts and they made profit. We did our own 4 years after. 30 billion. 30 billion between the office of the Accountant General and the MOC. 30, because they said they spent 90 billion. Others said it was 60 billion. Till today, 30 billion is unaccounted for. 30 billion.
The commissioner of Ogun State the commissioner of Ogun State is a young man. Yeah. And even in the think tank committee of Ogun State, you have a Bukola Olakpade.
Let's go to Sapele. We have a Ruben. Hello, Ruben.
Hi, it's Mr. Ken. And Ruben Junior, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruben.
Okay. In our local palace, in Delta here, they say something where if something do person, they go first tell them sorry before you go tell them the good news where you bring come. So I said that to say this. I want to felicitate with all or sympathize with all Arsenal fans. It's just one of those things. They will bounce back.
Good morning.
Ruben, you are not nice.
They are headed to championship as it stands, Ruben.
Ruben, there's something they do you. They very greet you. I don't know where you are coming from. Go on, Ruben.
I need to give them some hope.
Ruben, who are them, please?
If I don't give them hope, it will not be good for football. You understand? So, okay. Please, I want us to look at sports from this angle.
Yeah.
We are crying about our under-20 team that just crashed out. And I learned that some of the boys that they did this MRI test for the under-17, almost all of them failed. You see, we keep having this problem because we want to achieve success through shortcuts. The China Kids Cup is there. There are many secondary schools who have 15 years old that we can adopt some kids who are exceptionally good and train them, bring them all over. It will take some time, but they will grow up to the sport and they will become what we want. Not just adopting people from Europe where they have made their name. They didn't go through our under-17, our 20. They just jumped into the national team. And that's why we're having the problems we're having. We should start looking at the school sport, the China Kids Cup, all these things, bring players and let them together for a long time. And allow these people to try. Whether they lose or not, we should be patient with them, but let us know that we have the right age.
Exactly.
For instance, when I was in school too, I know that I was one of the best football players in my set, FGC Warri, and I was good in long jump. So since I didn't have anybody to look at what I was doing then, I made it as a duty when I became a father too, that my son, I'm going to be his personal coach because he's very good in sports. I'm going to be his personal coach and train him up to the point when he's around 15, then I will launch him to the world. Please, I think most parents too should guide their children. Look at what they are good in. Sponsor them if we don't have external sponsors, and let us begin to pull them out, just as the whites show videos of their little kids and bring them out to the world to see. Please, thank you and God bless you.
Ruben, God bless you, Ruben. We are taking it exactly from where Ruben just stopped. Let's take it. Let's go to England first, because during the week we saw Wayne Rooney with his son, 11-year-old Kai, signing for Manchester United. That is it. That is Kai. That is it. He said, I'm a proud father. My son is signing for Manchester United. 11 years old.
In a climb where they understand, what grassroots development is.
Exactly. We are going on a break. Just digest that. When we come back, we shall ask ourselves, what are we doing with our kids? Ruben just said he wants to do that with his children. Let's see what is going to happen, what we are doing to us. Okay. Well, it's in the house. And I tell you this, I always like Okwe's perspective. But then I want to take Okwe from where we stopped last week. We talked about the Osun State players who went on. They said, as a then, we're trying to say we can nip that protest in the bud. Sometimes there are information we get, because of our position, and we try to say what we can do behind the scenes. Before, not everything will get there that comes on air. But then we're privy to certain information. We try to reach out to certain persons. But then on Monday, I think on Monday and Tuesday, they went on that Monday, they went to protest at the State House. We spoke about it here. I mean, it was Okwe and Jimmy, actually, at least. And three of us were at the last batch of the last anchor, the last leg of the show. So these guys now, went there to go and protest. Okwe, I think... during the week also I spoke with the Commissioner of Sports. He's been part of this show before, and a lot of assurances were made. I think this protest, these guys met the Deputy Governor, and then the Deputy Governor promised them that there won't be any slides in their salaries. I also spoke to the Governor. His intentions are noble, but then I think funding has been the key. Can you take it up, from where we stopped?
Yes, the protesters actually had their audience with Deputy Governor Alabi because the whole thing was centered around, one, they've not been paid because they knew their salaries would be deducted to fund the 31 sport officer in the local government. And that is another issue, because you tend to think about it. What are those guys in the sports commissions or sport councils? What do they do? But the deputy governor granted them audience and told them that under no circumstance would their wages or salaries or emolument be slashed, and that they should go for the data capture, which the honorable minister had been saying without it, he would not release funds to those workers. That is also a point. So they agreed to do that because they knew that their salaries will not be touched. It just reminds you of the ASU federal government who says we are not going with IPPIS. We want our UTA. So it's about the same thing. Now, I think they've all buried their sword.
Okay. I think like what Okwe just said, even Jimmy was part of discuss this issue. The commissioner has said that they are not going to cut their, anybody's salary, because from our own investigation, it's not as if they were being, of course, about cost of living when living over there, but then also even the stipend they are being paid has to be there. Probably about 2 or 3 of them are those who are just earning about 70,000 naira a month. A lot of them are earning about 35,000, and if they have to, fund the sport officers, which to us we believe is paramount, is key. You need sport officers who kind of fish out the talent in those areas. I think the commissioner's vision is there, but the issue now is the funding. And with the let's go to Osun State, Kunle, where we have Kunle on the line. Hello, Kunle.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Kunle. Go on.
Yeah. I just want to talk about our sports in this country. I just feel like there's no accountability in everything we do in this country. I mean, how can we just be going through all these? The sport is not doing well. Nobody is doing. Nobody is sacked. Nobody is giving us any explanation what is going on. I mean, everything is just disturbing.
Are you a sport person in Osun? Oh no, we'll have loved to hear from Kunle. But like I said before I talk to my colleagues here, the commissioner did assure that they won't cut the salary, just like what the deputy governor has also said. And probably we're also appealing to the House of Assembly, who are also aware of this. So probably they can make that some extra budgetary allocation, to cater for not just the salaries of the sportsmen, and because they are employees of the state, but also to the 31. If they find the 31 sport officers who are supposed to be sporting talent and developing talent in those areas, and it is key because that is where it is going to come out from. If we're talking about Wayne Rooney and his son, we're talking about Tiger Woods and his son. If you don't catch them at that level, this is just finished product. But like we said, Osun is not Lagos and other areas. These are also the talents from that area need clubs. Maybe that's why Osun Babes and Osun United are there to kind of provide platform from which they can express those things. So Jimmy, I think I don't think there is a devil or a saint here. I think probably just a misunderstanding on how these things can be sorted out so that it will be a win-win.
Well, I think the application of tact is important from all sides. Yeah. We've seen that there seems to be a lot of mix-up in terms of communication. The other side feel this is how it's supposed to be done. The other side feels this is how it's supposed to be done. I must commend the commissioner for the way he has gone about it. But I also feel that if he had sought for, funding for the sporting officers in the first place from, through the House of Assembly or directly to the governor, maybe this would not have happened in the first place because we've seen he's done a lot of things. I would feel that given all of what we have on ground, as a young man, it's very important that he has his head properly screwed to his neck and he does the right things, listens, because, this is what we know. We know there are a lot of grumblings about maybe he knows so much, but probably is not listening so much to the other, stakeholders. So if he's able to accommodate all of them and they're able to, accommodate themselves, Osun should be doing well in terms of grassroots sports.
Okay, so that is the Osun issue, and we hope that it will, as I said, all is well that ends well. But then later, we've been discussing about effects of nodding the ball on the things, and then and IFAB did come out during the week and said that if you have there is a case of concussion, a football club is not allowed to make a substitute, you can make an extra substitute without numbers. If whether you have completed your number, when that, maybe if it is 3 substitute or 5, if you've done your last substitution and then you have a case of a concussion, that you can actually do that. I think that is a positive development.
Yeah, because the man being man, human nature, you want to play on, and so that next day you see yourself on the page of papers as being a warrior, as being valiant, as being a man of valor. But what they are doing here is you lose nothing by getting your health first before every other thing. So now that the coaches, the managers know that you can actually pull out a player, and normally when you pull out, that settles it. You are playing a man down. So whatever the case, prior to this, the manager will always just stay there, just hang on. That has been the language. Hang on till we have few minutes. But now, I think putting the health of the players first is a welcome development.
I want to stick with you mentioned during, I think about 2 weeks ago, when we talked about 2 or 3 weeks ago, what about the player in the World Cup? That
the 1966
Kramer. No, even 2014.
2014,
I think whether Richard Kramer or the German player that went to the referee and said, look, he asked the referee if they actually started the World Cup final. That to signal to Bastian Schweinsteiger, who called the coach that, look, take this guy off, and he was taking off.
There was a documentary on it, and I said, "Okay, mention this on the show." You understand? Yeah. Okay, you were saying something.
So we talked a lot about dementia. Yeah. We talked a lot about what happened. Dada Chef and Santilan in boxing.
Obina is calling us from Jos.
Why not?
Hello, Obina.
Good afternoon, Ken.
Obina.
Good afternoon.
Now, well done.
Thank you, my guy.
Ken, I just want to talk about this our junior team.
What do you want to talk about?
The Flying Eagles and the under 17s.
Okay.
I'm free to talk about them.
You are free.
Okay.
You are free. You are free.
What is happening, Ken? I could remember those days when they are the pride of this nation. What is happening? Somebody just tell me what is happening, please.
The academies are not like we are saying. If somebody just called and said maybe the MRI carried out in those players failed. The thing is not to win. If you want to win and you start, juggling age and what other things, or you are not making. You can win, but you are not doing us any good. The thing is,
MRI, yes. Is it not the same test that Ghanaian and Cote d'Ivoire and all others too? That should not be an excuse. What I'm saying is that the way they are selecting the players these days, I don't think that is the right way. They are doing it the right way.
Okay, can you tell us? Can you just suggest how it should be done?
Yes, an open camp. Open camp. Don't just go to a particular academy and pick players. I had the fourth, is it the third or the second vice president of the NFF, saying that during the other under 17 that performed woefully, that they picked almost about half of the team from one academy in Lagos. That's not how it's done. Open camp, let everybody come there. Invite players, let them come there and hustle for their share.
It was an open
camp. From that place, you will get better players. Not just go to a particular academy and pick players there. We have enough players even here in Jos.
I understand.
We have many under 17s here.
Obina, but the issue is
open it. Let all the players come there and hustle.
All the players cannot come to Jos and hustle. You must invite them. If you do an open camp and 100,000 Nigerians come to Jos, how do you accommodate them? You invite people to come.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how. I don't know if they still have scouts. You get me?
They have scouts. I think they have. I think they do.
Is it proper for them to depend on one particular academy?
Okay.
No.
There are so many academies in Nigeria.
Because the youth, because
bringing them together would be a problem.
Because our football clubs don't have the culture of youth. You remember we said it here years and years ago when you have El Kanemi a senior team and El Kanemi playing final, Enyimba senior team and Enyimba junior team playing FA Cup finals. That is not, it happens. So basically that is not. We have just saw Keiruni signing for at 11 years old. You know how he is. So basically we will come back to that if it is not about winning, but about discovering talents that will make way for themselves. I think basically that is what the thing. We shouldn't be too.
As for me, I don't think those boys that I saw play the Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, they are not the best we have. I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy at all.
We understand you, Bina. Yes.
So please, next time, let them. I'm not blaming the coach. You can only do with what they gave you.
Exactly.
If they did the screening very well. Go around the nation and pick players.
Now you are talking. Go round the nation. Yes. I agree.
We are tired of all this.
We agree with you. Calm down, guy. I know it's Christmas. Obina is Christmas.
Let me just quickly speak to two issues. One, it has to do with about recycling of coaches at that level. Just take a statistics of the last 12-15 years. We've been just recycling the same.
Can we do that maybe in the next one week?
Secondly, he talked about it's not it's statistically impossible to have just one academic player supplying the ball. Now, why can't we go back to zoning? We used to have zone 1, zone 6. Do you understand? If we have zoning, it will make recruitment of this local talent easier.
Okay. We are going better. Let us just see the fixtures for today's matches in probably any of the European teams. So guys who are working, if your teams are playing in England, those are the matches
against winless Sheffield United, Tottenham Hotspur,
Leicester. I think they will cancel themselves. They will be winning that match.
United, Leeds in the Battle of the United.
Explosion.
Taking against Aston Villa.
Okay. In Germany,
Bundesliga, we have Freiburg against Hertha Berlin. Wolfsburg will be hosting VfB Stuttgart.
All right. In Spain, anyone in Spain? Spanish La Liga.
Celta Vigo taking on Deportivo Alaves. Real Betis will travel to Granada. Cadiz hosts Getafe, and Eibar takes on Real Madrid.
All right. I think that is where we'll be. Okay. In Italy, Serie A.
Torino take on Bologna, Benevento take on Genoa, Cagliari take on Udinese, Inter against Spezia.
Okay, I think just as well we calling it.
I think the most important thing is when we're talking about grassroots development, we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to make it generic, original, be unique about it.
Generic.
Ensure we don't focus too much on elite athletes, but start from the grassroots. It starts from you and I, starts from the family.
Okay.
Okay, talking about children taking after their parents in sport, I saw a couple of that yesterday at the para-table tennis open competition. Lot of kicks, and that means table tennis will never die.
Table tennis will never die. Starting from my main man, Babatunde Obisonya. I mean, he remains my benchmark for it. Like we said, he crowned it. He was crowned the FIFA best, and he crowned it with sublime goal. He scored the equalizer, and the 93rd minute he put in there. There is just one. This is the time. I think it is Lewandowski time. Ken Ochonogo. Have a Yellowtide blessed Sunday.